Being in shape is the ultimate status symbol for men over 30, and I say that because it's so rare. If you look at all the data, 60-70% of men over 30 are classified as overweight or obese, and only 3 to 5% of men have body fat low enough to have visible abs, which is absolutely bonkers when you think about the time we're in and all the access to information, AI, ChatGPT. So it shows us one thing, that lack of information is not the problem, because if it was, most people would be walking around sub 10% body fat with a great six-pack, but that's just not the case. And actually, there's something a lot deeper going on. There are 5 stages that everyone will go through when you're trying to burn fat, build muscle, transform your body, shift your identity, and form new habits. And it's called the 5 stages of behavior change. And if you don't understand how this works, it will be the reason that you'll stay stuck in that rebound cycle of overtraining, undereating, and feeling like your body doesn't represent the amount of hard work you're putting in. And I say this with no judgment. I was spinning my wheels for almost 3 years. And once you understand this, it will be an absolute game changer. So right now, there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. On the y-axis, we've got emotional state, and along the x-axis, we've got time. Stage 1 is uninformed optimism. This is where most of you are now. You've just finished the Kickstarter, you're excited, motivation, willpower, everything's at an all-time high. And you're like, you know what? This is my time. You tell your friends, family, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to transform my body, get in shape. Stage 2 is informed pessimism. This is where you've been sticking to a new habit, new behavior, your workout program, you've been eating clean for a few weeks now. And then the novelty starts to wear off. Life starts to get in way. You start to hit some of these friction points, and your motivation and willpower start to ebb and flow. And you're like, you know what? This is going to be harder than I thought. And this is where some people will drop off. And the people that don't will then hit stage 3, valley of despair. This is a really tricky place to be. It's when you've been sticking to a new habit, new behavior, you've been making some positive changes, but you're not yet seeing the results. And that's completely normal, guys. There is a gap between implementing a new habit, new behavior, and starting to see some tangible change. And most people, because they have no idea how to actually measure their progress, they're just jumping on the scale, looking in the mirror, they get frustrated because results aren't as fast as they thought. And they're like, you know what? I've been, eating clean, I've been doing this, doing that, and, I don't see any results. What's the point? It's not working. And that's when most people will jump from one thing to another, new fad diet, new program, and then they end up falling off plan, only to wait to get motivated again, hit another pain point, another holiday coming up, and then they'll repeat this over and over again. It's completely normal for there to be a period of time between implementing a new habit and not yet seeing the tangible change you expect. That's why it's so vital during that time that you have someone there that you can lean on when you're getting over emotional, when you're second guessing the process, and when motivation and willpower disappear. And that person can hold you accountable and help you stack up those micro wins. That's exactly what we do inside the private coaching. People celebrating all types of wins, because that's what builds momentum and consistency. And remember, consistency drives results, and that's when you hit stage 4, the informed optimism, the holy shit moment. Are those my abs? This is actually working. Everything is starting to pay off. And that is when motivation appears. That's when confidence appears. And so many people rely on motivation and willpower as their main energy source, and then when it disappears, they end up falling off plan just to repeat the process over and over again. And the crazy thing is, then it becomes a positive reinforcement loop, and you no longer rely on motivation, willpower, because you've started to see some results. So you get addicted to it. You want to see more, and then motivation and consistency just becomes automatic, and results literally become effortless. And that's how you get to stage 5, your ultimate goal, the leaner, happier, healthier, more confident version of you. Look, I know how frustrating it is getting stuck in that rebound cycle, guys, of feeling like your body doesn't represent the amount of hard work you're putting in. I was stuck in a plateau for almost 3 years, feeling like I was stuck in a loop of overtraining, undereating, looking at other people around the gym, and I thought I was the problem. I thought they had more willpower, more motivation, but it wasn't that. I didn't have anyone to hold me accountable, help me build that momentum, stack up those micro wins. And it wasn't until I hired my first coach, who was on the front cover of Men's Health magazine. His name was Callum Melly. Yeah, everything changed for me, and I was able to completely transform my body.